Jimmy started to worry that I could be authentic. My tag said they hear me sing will bring his death, and it meant it. He chose to take chances and thought of what to do. When he saw the slight smile on my face was new. Jimmy fought hard. The fire pit in the yard. He pictured me a melting glob of ash and charred, but that simple-minded plan turned into concern. Soon as the boy learned, things don't burn. Lighter fluid wouldn't do it. He finally said, "Screw it! I know what to do. I'll put some fucking nails through it." Fake laughing as he ran to the garage across the lawn. Came back and thought he'd seen the mirage when I was gone. Wait a fuck, did I put him? I left him right here, sitting right in the shed. He searched everywhere. Day became night. He finally went in for good when he heard my singing from within the dark of the woods. Fun, the joyous fun you have to joy begin. Joy, joy, a joyful joy I'll be when your life ends.
What up, Nathan? We're still getting everything set up, so just hang out until we're ready.
Jimmy later went thinking of the fate his sleep could bring, wishing he never bought that fucking creepy thing. He told himself, why bother tripping? It must be father tricking him to teach him a lesson. There's no need for the stressing. Still he thought he heard me sing again, but it was a cat laying on his back, gripping the bed, and anything he's quick to splat. He wanna peep out the window and almost did it, but the thought of my face popping up told him forget it. He finally slipped out of consciousness. It didn't take long. I crept in with the hammer he left out on the lawn, and them 6-inch nails with the dog I made pale. Slipped up in the bedroom. Jimmy be dead soon. Put a nail to his temple under the moon's glow. Dropped that heavy hammer and sunk it into his skull. Both his eyes opened wide and stared into my own. And while they slowly closed for good, I sang on my song.
Fun, the joyous fun you had to joy begin. Joy, joy, a joyful joy I'll be when your life ends. When I will get to watch you suffer, and I love it, I will fly. Hold my string and let me sing, so it's time to die.
Fun, such joyous fun you've had since your life began. Joy, joy, a joyful joy I'll be when your life ends. Soon I will get to watch you suffer, and I love it, I won't lie. Ding, ding, it's time you die. What's up, man? It's me. Listen, I'm really sorry about today, man. I don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but I feel like shit. I'm telling you, man, my fucking organs hurt. I don't know what the hell I'm going through. I'm gonna go home, lay down, try to get some rest, man. I hope I can come in tomorrow, man. I have a headache. My brain feels dead. I got home and sat on my bed, kicked my shoes off. I see my toes are cracked. I tried to wiggle them and 3 of them snapped right off. I stood up and now my walk is crooked. I went to piss, nothing came out. I shook it and pulled it and snapped right off in my hand. What the fuck is happening? Don't understand. My hair is falling out. My body's sore. I threw up on the bathroom floor. What the hell is that? Looks like a kidney or one of my guts. I'm staring at it when half my vision shuts off. My eye fell out and rolled in the sink. I look in the mirror, the hole is pink. I'm trying to hold myself together. Impossible task. My only question, how long will I last? I'm falling apart. I'm falling I was running down the stairs when my leg gave out. Snapped off at the knee. What's this about? My fingers are breaking off one by one. Where's all the blood? I don't see none. I'm hopping on my good leg and make it down to the kitchen. My other eye's coming loose, fucking my vision. I'm thinking about stabbing myself to get it done. Something's in my mouth. I spit up my tongue. Try to pick a knife up. My fingers are gone. I hopped outside and fell on the lawn. There goes my other leg. My left arm as well. Still throwing the guts. My personal hell. I'm laying on my back. I see the crows above me. My right arm breaks off. What's left of me? How did this happen? I came undone. A pile of meat baking under the sun. I'm falling apart in the park. I'm falling apart in the park. I'm falling apart in the park. I'm falling apart. I'm falling apart. I'm falling
All right. We still have about 20 minutes or so until we get started with the meeting. So join us over on the Zoom link or just hang out in the chats and we'll try to respond to you as quickly as we can. Or hang out in the Zoom and we'll see you here shortly.
Throwing out in the dirt for us to climb on. Beats attacking your ears for us to rhyme on. On time with a bag of perk. 3, 5 times, put the shacks for word. We on both sides of the river, all around the ocean. Spinning like a carousel, stuck in fast motion. Like that, champ out of his back. Flat on the mat, I've been doing that. We running barefoot on broken glass. I can't believe it, but the shit is out there and we're here to receive it. Catch me under waterfalls with sexy ass mermaids washing my balls. Throwing butts in the sky, putting craters on the moon. Chilling with the creature from the Black Lagoon. Communication through ear holes, real underground, baby, punching through your stereo. Self-dewicked for the chosen few. So for everybody listening, this goes to you. This one's for my people, the very people listening here. And it don't matter where. This one's for my people, the very people listening here. And it don't matter where. Out there. For my people living downtown. For my people in the forest. For my people in the dry desert. And where the rain pours. For my people in the jungle. For my people in the boondocks. For my people of the island. And all my people of the crops. For my people in the snowstorms. For my people in the heat waves. For my people being born. And all my people in the graves. For my people in the swamplands. For my people of the tundra. For my people in the penthouses. And the others living under. For my people in the Orient. For my people of the seas. For my people of the outback. And my people from the trees. For my people of the mountains. For my people on the road. For my people everywhere who call themselves Juggalos.
All right, we got about 20 minutes before the meeting gets started. I noticed we already lost Nathan, but hopefully he'll come back. So we started at 8:30 Eastern time over on the Zoom. So right now we just play music to let people know we're still out here.
Yo, Chris, you can hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, I haven't really been able to hear the audio too well.
Okay, let me try turning it up.
Something in the water, if that's no mistake. The thought that rides along the top has been said to carry voices. Those of the dead who took the dare and jumped in, they made bad choices. Some have seen and others heard. They say along the bottom are all the bodies of the girls and boys.
And maybe I'm using a different camera. Let me try adjusting some shit.
In this pot, the spirit cries. Snakes and bugs replace his eyes. Some don't believe and dare to swim. Something under will pull you in. Hidden deep in the wild brush. If you know where it is, then hush. Crystal clear that. Smell, there's a pond where many children perish. The water is black, even in the sunlight, deep and dark, nightmarish. Some believe the body surface and bask underneath the moon. Others say they see the headless boy stumbling around the lagoon. The moon screams all night long. Sounds melodic, sings you a song. Missing children, swampy deaths. Mysteries, our secrets kept. Staring owls, snakes, and frogs. Leeches living off hollow logs. Something's watching from the water. It took them missing sons and daughters. It's over there. That finds mine. Emulate from this one place. Several children, young boys and girls disappeared here without a trace. What you believe and what you don't is entirely up to you. But if you go up there and swim alone, you'll know exactly what's true. Something's dragging through the mud. Mosquitoes attracted to the blood. They say the dark depths have no bottom. Some never came back up and got them. Crazy kids come party here. It swallows more souls every year. They jump right in and disappear. Best to stay away from up there at first. There it Something stronger, on the under, fight for it. Something stronger, on me down. Something stronger, on the under, fight for it. Something stronger, on me
A Marine veteran.
All right, we got 15 minutes until the meeting. Sorry, it's taken me a minute to get all the sound right. We've got this dual streaming on YouTube and the Facebook, so I had to fuck with a bunch of the controls.
Who was an expert marksman.
Yeah. Back to the music.
Shot and killed 10 unsuspecting noontime strollers on the university campus today, and then he was cut down an hour and a half later by a policeman. The sniper started shooting from the observation deck of the 27-story tall university tower. Victims were cut down on the west and south sides of the campus as the sniper zeroed in on his target with unerring accuracy. Those who were felled with bullets from the high-caliber rifle were pulled to safety as soon as possible by officials and passers-by. Others crouched in terror.
I'm busy walking out of every zombie wear boots with some black leather shoes and desert BDUs. Many boxes of ammo. I got the camel face paint. I barricaded the tower door. Safe. This place ain't up to the top. I can see the whole planet. It would seem the sun is beating out my head as I'm living my whole dream. Up chucked a couple times and I finally took aim. My man is chatting on his cell phone. I spat at his brain. A lovely couple started running. All of a sudden she tripped. He kept right the fuck without her like he never missed a step. I snapped one to his head. He fell dead to his knees. And then his wife was right there to retrieve the car keys. I mean, he noticed at first all those zombies start to scatter, plug an iron in they back who they are. It doesn't matter, there's a psychopath way up in the tower somewhere. And when they think they out of range, proofs they have. It was hot that day in the tower. So fucking high. Shooting from the tower. It was hot that day in the tower. So fucking high. I shot the lady in the ass and a kid on the grass and a daddy on the swing through the lens in his glasses. First cop on the scene will be commended for his services, but now he holds his throat and screams, I didn't deserve this. The tower's too high, I'm bringing shots from above. Cause my head's a battle royal, a serpent, snails, and bugs. Quadrupolar through my cyberscope, I see the enemy. The world ain't never been my friend and never pretended to be. I fought in 2 wars, my country left me poor and sick. Late, missing Agent Origin and a usable dick. So as I reload, my trigger fingers frozen cold. From squeezing so hard, my reason is no control. Work soul, look at that, pat, crack. 3 frat, college boys flat, dead on their back. And a lady trying to hide behind a dead fat guy. Just got one plucked in her eye. It was hot that day in the tower. So fucking high. Shooting from the tower. It was hot that day in the tower. So fucking high. I'm finally at war again, only I ain't taking orders. 200 yards below, I'm taking target smallest quarters. Marksman, sniper, military precision. Spotlights on the tower, trying to nullify my vision. My eyeballs keep rolling in the back of my head. Practicing for any minute when I'm actually dead. They put the tape up. These people think they out of my view. And still I'm steady plugging sleeping pills. I've been to them too. I see in strobe light vision and I'm waiting on a panic. My only skill is murder and I'm stuck on automatic. Sweating profusely, bleeding out of my ears. The shots I miss in my fragments, bullets shading my heads. And yet my aim is remarkable. I'm picking these dubs one by one, jumping out of those SWAT team trucks. I see the major activity. I'm causing a chaos match. My life went out with a flash. It was hot that day in the tower. So fucking high. Shooting from the tower. It should get that high in the tower. Shooting from the tower. Beat down on someone's in the tower. So fucking high. Shooting from the tower. fucking hot that day. Someone's in the tower. What's too fucking hot? Shooting from the tower. What's no can you get that high? Someone's in the tower. What's how can it be that high? From the tower. What's too high? Too high. Someone's in the tower. Just too fucking high. Shooting from the tower.
Weird. But we got about 10 minutes before meeting's actually live. So join us over on the Zoom if you're not already there.
You know what would be the shit that's tripping the sun? What if we had our own island that's tripping the sun? I got my toes in the sand watching hoes play volleyball. It's summertime and I'm feeling jolly, all food on the fire, boats in the water and taking time off for my cereal slaughtering. Here for the weekend, me and these friends, sunny sunshine, blue skies never end. There's a mermaid waiting me to come in, underwater on my ball, she's humming, smoking on a flat one, we come to have fun. I got my dick in your hot dog bun, pouring up shots for everybody that's sipping. Let's get loose now, skinny dipping. Don't hate me cause the speedo I'm wearing got your girlfriend staring. We out here, sky so clear, ice cold beer, suntan topless, bitch, come over here. On Juggalo Island, we can be Juggalo Island, we can have fun. Bangkok home, sunny like high noon. Met some Mets and they all coming over soon. Have a luau, I'll get a blue out. Come over here if you ever get through out. We got a place for ya, never will ignore ya. Got a hot plate and a drink, we gonna boil ya. Corpse on the grill, plays on the 1-2. And around here the dead have fun too. Sniffs in the water, bump and we see you. Doing flips in the air, running see you, no cops. Unless they're pouring up shots, unless they're helping us smoke these crops. Surfing on the big one, having big fun. Fucking with a big fat one under the sun. Letting them hang, doing our thing. Listen to them up and down the beach, everybody sang. I Juggalo Island. We can be one. I Juggalo Island. We can have fun. And when the sun goes down, we up all night, dance to the dead, boogie woogie in the moonlight. Fuck the rules, right? The dead do bite. Listen to the Ouija board, we can only do right. Can't do wrong, fatty in a blues bong. Everybody can't be together with you gone. Come get with this, we get ridiculous. This world is ours, every bit of this. Get to a burger with cheese, enjoy the breeze. I'm chopping coconuts out of palm trees. Here we all win, I'm free balling. See me shoreside, surfing on a dolphin. Grass skirts that hula girls had jets. And whenever you're fishing, hook catches. We don't leave without you, so let's hang, boom, pow, bang. Let's do the damn thing. I Juggalo Island. We can be Juggalo Island, we can have fun. I Juggalo Island. Baby, let's trip in the sun. Let's trip in the sun. Baby, let's trip in the sun. I Juggalo Island. Let's trip in the sun. Baby, let's trip in the sun. Let's trip in the sun. Baby, let's trip in the sun. I Juggalo Island. We can be strong. Juggalo Island. We can have strong.
All right. We got about 5 minutes until meeting starts, so I'm going to go ahead and play the song that's about our topic, and you guys can think about that shit.
Ooh, I like this toy. Watch it come. Yankees, we got Slinkies. Only mine like to rap around your face and stretch, twist, kazoo, and whip your body all over the fucking room. So come one at a time, open your gift, and what you will find is a toy, my friend, that you never forget. It's not every day that you get your skull split. You like soldiers? We got soldiers made with rubber and steel. They look real, but I wouldn't just toss them under your bed. That's how you get an axe to the forehead. No, and don't let them sit around all day. Come home and run you round. Get in the hallway, cause they can be nifty. All the toys I shifty in my toy box. Wah, 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 wah. That's not a toy. Hey, wait a minute. Don't fuck around, homie. You can lose an eye with it. That's my double blade razor with a Jimmy. And it's mine, motherfucker. So gimme, gimme. You want toys? You come to the right place. Draw my little toy mutilating metal case. Wind them up, let them go among all of ya. Then bang, serial slaughterer. No turn, reach in and get lucky. Oh, look, you pulled out a rubber ducky. You make a funny sound, man. Then bang, through the fingers of his fucking hand. Don't stop, class ain't done yet. I remember you calling me Poindex, word brainy, my aggravation. Read into these little creations. Reach in, you might find some wicked. When you step, chopping Piccadilly off with your head. A robot with a sword, now he's looking at me. But what for? But wait a minute, I made you. Get them, not me. Wait a minute, motherfucker. Oh, I love this record.
All right, and with that, we're gonna go ahead and just get this shit started. So today we're talking about Toy Box and what it really means to have this box of toys as a sober person. So it's a fun song talking about how hard our origins were from childhood to early adulthood. Nothing but a struggle, always looking for that escape to working on our toys. Our toys in the heat of our affliction would have been our next drugs, our next drink, our next hit, whatever it was to escape the reality. And man, I had plenty of fucking toys in my box. But now in sobriety, our toys are our new skills. The things that we learned that we could do that we weren't capable or willing to do when we were in the heat of our affliction. So, like one of my favorite ones that I've learned to really utilize since getting sober is critical thinking. In the heat of the moment, being able to take that pause and deal with that situation instead of immediately looking for that exit, going to that next hit, that next drink, the next drug, the next escape. Because we always have to deal with these situations as they're unfolding. We don't really have the option to just bounce out all of the time. While that can be appropriate, a lot of the times we have to just be adults and deal. We don't really get that option to just disappear. So the other ones that I also really like are patience. I have way more patience now as a sober person than I ever did when I was heavy into everything because I didn't have time to wait around. I didn't have time to sit down and reflect. It was always on to the next, immediately on to the next. Everything that I could get my hands on, I needed that right that moment. Some of the other ones were listening skills. I never had the ability to actually pay attention to any other shit that other people were saying because I was solely focused on just escaping from that moment. That moment didn't really matter to me. That moment was just the next pause in between me doing something way more fun. Uh, there's a bunch of other shit in here. Like, I've got way more positive coping mechanisms than I used to. But I'd like to open this up to you guys and see what you guys have to say about this shit. Bryant,
Yo,
you got
what's up,
anything to
Chris?
say on this one?
Oh yeah, sure do. I like this song. So yeah, my toy box was definitely like you're saying, it was that fight or flight. You know, it was that run that was pretty much empty besides the substance use. You know what I mean, or the random sexual encounters, or the gambling, or the fighting, or the chaos. Right, that was the stuff that I lived off of in my toy box once upon a time. Right, and I'm coming up on 4 years on November 3rd. And throughout the time, we talked about it before, like coming back to the things that used to bring me joy, right? Like drawing, painting, decorating stuff, like music, healthy outlets, healthy coping mechanisms, stuff that I would never use. And you brought up something like patience, like I work in a field that requires a lot of patience a lot of times, and I found skills in being able to relate and talk to others and help them out with their struggles, and just different skills that I didn't know I was capable of, and pushing myself to different things, like even in my day job doing like the brick and the tile work and stuff. I didn't know I could do anything like that until I started doing it,
Right.
Even though I was naturally creative, but having something that I wouldn't say takes me away from the moment, but something that makes me feel like when it's complete, like, oh, I did something. You know what I mean? Which is, stuff that all developed throughout my recovery, because if I got sober, I wouldn't have went back to drawing or to tattooing or painting stuff or working on my vest or, writing. I quit writing. I gave up a long time ago on that, and I still like to write now. I'll just like open the notes on my phone and start writing stuff just because it pops in my head. Still not good with lists though. I used to do them in early recovery, and I should go back to them because they did help when life gets lifey and chaotic. But I kind of just do like a Buddhist thing and just try to go with the flow of life, and be able to look not through my eyes at every situation going on, being able to step outside of myself and taking things for what it is, which is something I learned throughout my recovery that took time and practice,
Well, I mean, that's one of those things. Being able to go with the flow isn't something most of us really have until we get into sobriety. We don't really have that ability to adapt that quickly. So, now that you're at this point in your life, you've been able to learn to adapt far better than you ever were when you were in the heat of shit. So what else do you think you've learned in sobriety that you would have never been able to do at your worst?
Goal setting and then taking steps to reach those goals. I don't do like really strive for the small goals. I like to do like the 5-year, 10-year thing. Like, this is what I want to do eventually, and then make the steps towards that to make that goal become a reality, which, like setting small goals is a good thing and everything. It's just, when I'm going with the flow of life, if I set a bunch of small goals and don't accomplish them, then I'm just beating myself up. So I'm like, this is the bigger picture goals. and these are the things I have to do to get there, and then make the progress on the smaller things until I obtain a bigger goal, which I didn't have goals when I was out there, so that was something I would have never thought about at all, you know.
And what about you, Josie?
Sympathy and empathy, instead of always being about how I feel and how I think, being able to step back and maybe they think this way or feel this way because X, Y, and Z. Because before it used to be all about, I was like entitled. This is how I feel. This is what I'm thinking. You're just not understanding. And maybe it's not always that somebody isn't understanding, but they just come from a different thought process than mine, or have different feelings towards situations than I do. So being able to have empathy and sympathy for where somebody else is coming, you know, not being so narrow-minded.
Yeah, I feel that. I really didn't have shit for empathy before I got sober, because I really didn't give a shit about other people because they weren't serving a purpose to me. Because unless you were there to facilitate something that I wanted, you had zero value. And now I do way more work for other people than I do for myself. Josie, you have anything that you want to talk about? What's in your toy box?
Trying to think of things lately, because dealing with a concussion and trying to draw right and not have light, it's very difficult, but it's been amusing because I can still figure out ways to do it. But yeah, dual blocks, trying to learn how to do things one-handed and not be scared to freaking ask for help anymore, not being a stubborn ass.
Oh, that's a big one. Being able to accept and ask for help. Oh, that's huge. In and out of sobriety. That's amazing. Good on you.
It's been difficult. And I've been a pain in the ass because I'm told, oh, don't use your hand. It's like, you need both hands for legit everything in life. Even to draw, you need both hands. I learned because I fucked up what I was doing because a paper moved.
Yep, I understand. I a couple of years ago, I lost the ability to use my hands for a little bit because I had a massive infection. So I ended up almost losing one of my hands. So I can sympathize with how that can actually go down. But I'm glad that you're learning to adapt.
Oh, yeah. Adapt again, I would say. Readapt the nonsense of only having one hand and freaking doing shit. Very exciting. Not, it's boring, especially when you can't handle light for that long.
I ain't learning to adapt is all we really do. I mean that's life. It's constant chaos, constant learning about the change that's happening, and being able to just move on with it.
Yeah, asking and receiving for help. I think even coming up on 4 years of sobriety, I still struggle with the asking for help thing because I'm stubborn to the point where I want to see if I can figure out or deal with something on my own before I dump my burdens on somebody else's plate, which is not always necessarily a good thing, but I grow at the speed of pain usually. So, I will say, hey, I got too much going on. Like, I just can't. I'll see you in 2 weeks or whatever, or, hey, I'm baffled by this fucking situation and I don't know what to say to this person. Like, can you give me some advice? Like, I have those people that I call for certain things, but usually, I have to take a step back and, like Chris, you were talking about, like, critical thinking. Like, this is something different. Let me think about this and see what to do. And, because I learned through my own experience. So for me, like, a lot of stuff is facing it head on. And when I know that my way is not cutting it, or the different things I'm thinking are just not bearing any fruit, I know to ask for help. But if I had one broke hand, I would still be stubborn and not ask for help and go, I got this shit.
Oh, I have been. I've felt that a few times. It's kind of amusing.
When I shattered my kneecap and couldn't get up off the couch, then I was forced to ask for help for months, and I hated it. Because when you break your kneecap, you don't get a cast, and your shit moves around, and you're just in a leg immobilizer. So you're just kind of fucked, because it's like if you move, you're in pain. So you want to be in pain because you're stubborn, or you want to ask for help. So when
I've been there too.
I ask for help more often. But if it was just like I fractured my wrist a few times, I'm gonna be stubborn.
That just sounds like the majority of my life over here. I've had my hands and my feet rebuilt, and nothing ever stopped me except for me. And that's one of those things that we had to learn, is that we had to learn our limitations, because especially when we were partying way too hard, we had no limitations. So that was probably one of those other things that I learned as a positive coping mechanism, is learning when enough was enough. I'm still a stubborn asshole, but I've gotten better.
Yeah, what is it? A sadist or a masochist? Which one likes pain inflicted on themselves? Which one is that?
That would be I think that's a sadist. The masochist is, I believe, the
enjoys
one that
pain on other people.
Yeah.
So I guess I was like, in my addiction is pain, right? And I was the mentality of pain is life, and pain is pleasure, and pain is everything. So I was definitely come from a sadistic nature to even where in recovery I'm like, sometimes the pain is good. I'm like, I gotta feel this pain so I don't forget this fucking mistake and I learn from it, right? I guess it's like a little bit of a sadistic trait to have when your view on life or the world for most of your life is it's all pain, right? So even in recovery, like I don't have to go through painful situations or emotions, but sometimes I just choose to because it makes me learn and correct an action.
I dig that. I mean, it's one of those things that I think we all have had to go through at some point. We've all had to deal with some kind of physical or emotional pain to get us the response that we needed to either make the change or accept the change.
Oh, so on that note, though, toolbox, network, my network of people, my network that uplifts me, my network that I can talk to when shit's going sideways is probably one of the most critical tools I've gotten in recovery, is finding real friends, real homies, community, group of like-minded people, my tribe, whatever you want to call it, that lift my moods and my spirits and guide me in ways that nobody would when I was out there. And even if they would try, I wouldn't have accepted it. I think that was one of the most valuable tools.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that one. Josie, what do you think is your most valuable tool you've learned overall?
Probably community and freaking organization at this point. They both go hand in hand, I've realized.
Yeah, I still suck ass at organizing shit, but I'm good at some things.
Did you rewatch that last meeting, Josie?
No, not yet, because I've literally been in and out of wanting to sleep because of how much my head's hurt that I can't even listen to music half the time. So it's been awful. But now I've been drinking a bunch of water and trying to eat shit here and there. So I've been getting a little bit better.
It's on organization. You love it.
Well, I have organized chaos at the moment, so.
I thrive in the organized chaos. That's the life I live.
I thrive in it too. I think that's most addicts. I thrive in the chaos, in the chaos as long as it's not inside of me.
Like, yes, exactly.
Yeah, I am calm and serene, and everything around me is on fire.
It's like was it the Batman movie or the Joker movie where everything's exploding and he's just walking? I think it was the Joker movie.
Joker.
He's just walking down the road and everything's exploding around him.
Yep, that is a great representation of what we have in life on most days. Everything is unstable except for us.
I mean, that's a good representation of any juggalo that has found peace and comfortability in their own skin. Because we, I think, go into some of the most chaotic environments in our lifestyle, whether it be back home in our small town where shit's insane, or the big city, or the festivals and stuff we do. It gets pretty chaotic. And if you could be the one walking through the fires, able to put them out, like that's a good representation.
I know, I agree. But unless anybody's got anything else
Not
to share
always.
on shit.
Sometimes it's no fun. It's too much work.
Life is always work. Nothing.
I know.
Yeah, you just have to kind of accept it at this point.
Work is life and life is death, so enjoy your days and moments as they pass.
Yep. But unless you guys have anything else to share on Toy Box, we'll go ahead and end this shit.
No, man, not really.
Yeah.
Ready to get this wedding over with and return to normality.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and start